Welcome, everybody. College football week 1 is in the books, which means it's time to look forward to week 2. I'm Joe at the Game House, and today we're going to go over college football week 2 picks. Week 2 is officially here for college football, which means there's some good games to look over. We're going to be doing money line picks all season long for college football, and we'll also give some nuggets here and there about some spreads here as we go down the list. We're not going to be picking every game with this video, but if you want to find all the picks, you can find them on thegamehouse.com. Last week, went 82-11 on money line picks. I believe I went 27-22-1 on spread picks, so it was a pretty good week overall. But, every week's a new challenge, so let's go down and get to it. We have not too many good games on early in the week, but we do have one with Illinois and Illinois and Kansas. This is a game of teams that I think overperformed expectations last year. This one being at Kansas, I'm going Kansas to win and cover. Jalen Daniels did not play that much, did not play at all, I don't think, in their first game. And Jason Bean came in, their backup, and was pretty good. He's got a really strong arm, and it can run a little bit too. But I think this week, whether it's Bean or Daniels, they got a really good quarterback room. They can win this one at home. Illinois struggled against Toledo in their opening game of the season at home. I'm going to take Kansas in this one to win, and then again, if you want to do the spread, to cover as well. All right, we're going to scroll on down. The game that's happening on Saturday, big noon kickoff for Fox. It is Nebraska at Colorado. It is a rivalry game. And we got to see Colorado do something we didn't think many people thought they would do. They were 20-point underdogs. I picked them against the spread last week. I did not expect them to go win the game. That was incredible. Shedeur Sanders had a big game, throwing the ball all over the field. Just very smart, efficient football from him. Travis Hunter playing both ways. That deserves a lot of credit, something we haven't seen done very often in college football history. And Chris Gamble might be the last one I remember seeing do anything similar to that, but even he, I don't think, played this many snaps. So I have Colorado winning this one. Nebraska lost week 1 to Minnesota in pretty heartbreaking fashion, I would say. They do have some talent on the roster, but Matt Rhule is in the same situation as Deion, where he's putting this roster together with a lot of transfers, some guys who were in the program for him, maybe more so than Deion. But I think it's going to take a little bit longer for him because he doesn't have guys like Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders quite yet. All right, so we have Purdue, Virginia Tech, going Virginia Tech with this one. This one could be a close game, so that's why I'm picking it. But Virginia Tech home field advantage wins this. Purdue did lose to Fresno State in week 1, but Fresno State's a pretty good team as well. Notre Dame at NC State. Now, I always remember one of the games that they played when DeShone Kizer was at Notre Dame, and it was a hurricane, and Brian Kelly still made him throw the ball a million times that game. I'll never understand that. But a fun matchup nonetheless. I'm going Notre Dame in this one. NC State does have Brennan Armstrong, so the offense should be improved, but it maybe started a little bit slow against UConn. And Notre Dame's looked fantastic. Yes, it's against lesser competition, but Sam Hartman really looks like he can improve that passing attack, which is something they desperately needed. I'm going Notre Dame in this one. Maybe takes a little bit while to pull away, but I think they get the win. Utah at Baylor. So this is one where maybe people thought, hey, this would be a really good game. But then you had maybe Cam Rising getting hurt for Utah, and he didn't play, but they beat Florida at home. And then Baylor lost to Texas State week 1, so we don't really know what to make of it. I'm going Utah, though. I like the physicality on both lines of scrimmage is the reason why. And it's just going to take a lot for Baylor to regroup from playing and losing to Texas State. Not that Texas State is necessarily that bad with J.G. Kinney in his first year, but that's a team that Baylor should definitely take care of business against. We have some other ones that are maybe a little bit easier with some of these teams playing some FCS competition. As we scroll down the list here, let's go pick UTEP and Northwestern because this is interesting. Northwestern did not look good in week 1 against Rutgers. At the same time, UTEP has they lost their first game of the season to Jacksonville State in week 0. They came back and won last week against Incarnate Word, I believe. And now they're favored on the road against Northwestern. I'm going to ride with it. I'm going to go with them. Northwestern is a mess right now with the whole the hazing scandal, Pat Fitzgerald getting fired right before the year. I'm going to go with UTEP to beat Northwestern in week 2. I'll keep on scrolling down the list here. Another good one is Ole Miss and Tulane, 2 ranked teams. I'm going to go Ole Miss in this one. Tulane has a good team, but they lost a decent amount from last year, including Ty J. Spears, Dorian Williams, the running back and linebacker from last year's team. Ole Miss really got the offense going last week against Mercer. Yes, it's an FCS team, but at the same time, I think Jackson Dart takes a step forward. I think Quinshon Judkins is the best running back in the country, or at least one of them. They should be able to get the win, and hopefully, keep it moving this year. Last year, they really failed down the stretch, but if they get this win, maybe it can get the momentum to keep on going. Next one up, we have Iowa and Iowa State, the rivalry game. Now, a lot of these players have been involved in the gambling probe, so we don't know who's all going to be there, who's not. I'm going Iowa. I think they looked good to start against Utah State. They kind of tapered off near the end, but their defense, I think, could really help them. They have plenty of good talent, both on the defensive line, on their offensive line, tight end room. Caden McNamara looks like he could be an improvement over last year as well. Texas A&M and Miami, I'm going Texas A&M in this one. The talent is there for them. It's a matter of improving the offense. And I do think hiring Bobby Petrino has helped them so far. They scored 52 points against New Mexico. And you might think, hey, it's New Mexico. It doesn't mean that much. But it looked really bad last year against some pretty bad teams. So I will take that if I'm Texas A&M. I think they figured it out a little bit. I don't think they're ready to compete for national titles or maybe even the SEC West. But, they can go from being a team that struggled last year to maybe being a team that is a little bit more competitive in the SEC. Next game up that we are going to pick is... Sorry, we're going to keep on scrolling here. We'll go Cincinnati and Pitt. I'm going Pittsburgh with this one. Cincinnati had a very good opening weekend game against Eastern Kentucky, but that's at the FCS level. Emory Jones had a good game as well. But Pitt has Phil Jurkovich at quarterback. He's been around for a while, can make some big-time throws. I'm going to go with Pitt since they're at home. UCF and Boise State, some teams who have been Cinderellas from smaller conferences, but now UCF is in the Big 12. I'm going UCF to win this one. I do think they have some good offense. John Rice Plumlee at quarterback. Boise coming off a tough game against Washington. I do think that says more about Washington being good rather than Boise being bad. But I think these are two pretty similarly talented teams, but I think UCF can go on the road and win. Next one up, we got Texas versus Alabama. This one's at Alabama. Texas was close in this game last year. They lost by 1 point after Quinn Ewers went down with an injury. So, this should be theoretically a very close game again. Quinn Ewers is healthy now. Alabama has some question marks around the quarterback position. But I'm going with the strength of the offensive line and the defense in this one. I mean, it's going to take a lot for Texas to exploit that defense. And they have the talent to do it, but until we see it, I'm going to go with the joyless murder ball that Nick Saban says they're going to run. I'm going to take Alabama. Next one up, we have Oregon and Texas Tech. Now, we have Tyler Shuck, who's the quarterback of Texas Tech, but used to be the quarterback of Oregon in this one to make things interesting. Oregon looked really good in week one, scored a ton of points. Don't care who it is against. You score like 80 points. That means something. Texas Tech lost on the road to Wyoming. It's a tough place to play. You don't want to throw out the whole season because of that. But I do think Oregon showed me more in week one. I'm going to go Oregon to win and cover. I think the spread was 6 or 6.5. Would definitely take Oregon to cover that spread. Maybe they will struggle more in week two. But from what we saw in week one, it should be Oregon to win and cover in that one. All right, we'll take UCLA over San Diego State. Could be a close game because UCLA seems like they still have to figure out that quarterback room and got off to maybe a slower start last week. But San Diego State's very tough too. I think UCLA should be able to win it, but wouldn't put it past an upset bid there. Wisconsin and Washington State, these two teams played last year. Luke Fickell's first year at Wisconsin, they got a win in week one. Washington State also got a win in week one. A lot of news has been made about Washington State not having a conference for next year. And, I think they're going to want to have a big year, but I also going to take Wisconsin because I do think their offense has a little bit more upside this year. Tanner Mordecai is a quarterback. I think they're going to throw a little bit more. But, they'll still have that ground-based attack that kind of leads the way. But I think they'll have more effective passing when they do. They have Ches Malusi at running back. They have Braylon Allen at running back. Should be able to help them out and get them the win. Arizona versus Mississippi State is a game I'm intrigued to see as well. I'm going Mississippi State in this one because they're at home, but Arizona has some good players. They have Jaden DeLora at quarterback, Michael Wiley at running back. They did lose Dorian Singer to USC at wide receiver, but they've got guys. They got Jacob Cowing, who transferred in from UTEP last year. It's going to be a fun game. A lot of offense is what I would predict, but I'm going to go Mississippi State. I think Will Rogers has been there forever, has a lot of experience passing the ball. I don't know how good they end up being as a team, but I do know they can put up points and win a shootout. All right, we'll keep on scrolling down here, see if there's any more games to pick this week. I'm going to go Auburn over Cal. This is a team that kind of a rough start, but maybe they're trying to keep the playbook back before they played a better team in week two. Cal's favored in this one. They have some talented players, including Jaden Ott at running back, but I'm going to go Auburn. Oklahoma State at Arizona State, I think is the last one we'll pick here because USC is going to blow out Stanford. I'm going to go Oklahoma State on the road. I mean, their quarterback situation is very unique to me. I mean, Alan Bowman was supposed to be the starter. He didn't end up playing. Arizona State, though, has a freshman quarterback, and Jaden Rashada starting. Drew Pine's still hurt. I think he'd probably still be the quarterback anyway, even if Drew Pine was back, but that, I guess, remains to be seen. But I'll go Oklahoma State. I think Ollie Gordon at running back's a pretty good player as well. I think they can be able to maybe control the clock and play some good defense against Arizona State, which is not something we're used to saying with some Pac-12, Big 12 games or even Mike Gundy coach teams, but they've done it in the past. So I'm going to go Oklahoma State with that one. Let me know what some of your big picks of the weekend are in the comments below. For now, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.